Okay, so check this out. What's up, y'all? This is Ruffy and Kick. I just wanted to show you guys something that I've been doing with this Lofi-12XT that kind of cracks me up. The reason why it cracks me up is because, like, look at the fucking size difference between the Push 3 and the Lofi-12. Like, I see videos of like people like Ski Beats. They got this sitting on top of the pads while they making the beat. I don't know why that's funny to me, but it's funny to me right now. I just wanted to show you guys how I have the MIDI set up on here. So basically bypass the sequencer. There's nothing necessarily wrong with the sequencer in here. I think it can get really nice. Really, you can get a pocket open, pretty good pocket with it if you, mess with the, the parameter locking features on there, and get off the grid really well. But like, I'm very spoiled with grid resolutions on stuff like this, and then stuff like that. My beautiful ass, 404 over there, right? So I'm from that cloth. Like, I don't really, stay on grids. I'm not really good at that staying on grid stuff. It actually makes my beats sound trash. Like, everything's off grid. But I'm not really a good finger drummer either. So like, I could be if I want to, but over time, moving my hands too much, them shits is gonna go off. You know what I mean? So the way I got it set up right now is I have my right here. If I go into the settings, I go to the MIDI right here. It says MIDI. Let the camera kind of catch up. Right here on config, these are my settings. I got it only coming from MIDI. I don't have nothing USB hooked up right now to this. You get what I mean? So right there, out to MIDI. Also, I don't have nothing MIDI out anyway, but it doesn't matter. So I have the clock turned off because I don't want this to control the sequencer in this. I just want this to be my sound module right now. You get what I'm saying? You get all the samples in there, and then everything else really doesn't matter. Now my track note, or my track MIDI channel is kind of default. It's just, track 1 is channel 1, track 8, channel 8, that's good there. What you want to do is make sure that right here where it says your channels, none of those overlap with any of the track channels, MIDI channels, because what's going to happen is you're going to be stuck. Like, even right here where it says pad channel, switch that to something like 11 or 10 or something away from the first 8 channels, because what's going to happen is one of the channels is not going to play correctly. It's only going to play the first key, and you don't want that to happen. You want it to be able to play the full octave. You get what I'm saying? In this case, that way when you get your chop going on, it's playing the full octave. You know what I mean? So now on Ableton Push 3, I have a template I made. If you can kind of see correctly, I'll even show you. I don't have the standalone version, but it's the same thing. But if I go over here, you can see how it looks. It's basically channels 1 through 8, and I got an audio track that's always monitoring, and I got all the right here where it says audio 2. I have all of that going to that particular track. I'm going to name that track something else, of course. Save the rest of the template, right? So, and then on each of these tracks, if you want to look, I'll go into there. You can see I have a external MIDI instrument on there, and I have it listening to each channel. So every time I swap tracks, you can see it's lining up to those channels. Track 3, track 4, you get what I'm saying? So, but that's how I'm actually doing it on the Push 3, so that, whatever track I'm on, you can see it controls, what I got going on right there. You get what I'm saying? Let me turn that off. But yeah, so I got a little drum thing I recorded chopped on there. If you can see, it's actually playing some of those. There you go. You know what I'm saying? I got it playing in poly mode so they can just play it like as a drum kit. So I'm gonna go to channel 2. Now that's track 2, right? You see it's lighting up now. But yeah, now I'm using the sequencer here. I got the layout switched to, how this is, like, you can just swap between the layouts. I got to switch to melodic sequencer and 32 notes. You know what I mean? If you don't hear nothing, just go up an octave or go up a page or whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't have a clip or nothing in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just put something on there. I'm gonna keep it at 2 length. You know what I'm saying? So let me just keep going. Hold on. see what I'm saying? So you could just kind of finish the beat here, you know what I'm saying, instead of having to use it there. The reason why I'm doing this is just because I don't know, MIDI's pretty powerful. If you got your stuff laying around, you got like 3 different pieces of gear over here, and you don't necessarily always want to, you know, leave, you know, your main workstation to go and try to like boot that up and get everything going. Just have it on in the corner. Like I'm gonna have that hooked up into another channel, so then I'm gonna have probably another 10 tracks added to this. That way I can control the tracks on there. You get what I mean? So now on the fly I could just swap between gear, but still be using my main sequencer here. You get what I'm saying? This is a really good sequencer. I really enjoy using it. So I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. And then you can still, you know, edit. Like in this case, you know, you can still edit through this, you know what I mean? Go in there and, you know, change stuff around. You know what I mean? If I want to nudge that. So in this case, yeah, you get what I'm saying? You can nudge stuff around. It's the same still. Like if you have stuff like a kick on one track, you know, snare on the next track, it's probably more or less convoluted on the screen, but you can still get the edits the way you wanted to do it. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. And like, let's say you already made the beat. In this case, I already made the beat on here. This is the reason why I turned clock off. Now it doesn't affect the sequencer there. So you can kind of mess around with it, see what you like better. You know what I mean? Do you like using the sequencer here better, or do you like using the sequencer there? You know what I mean? It's all hooked up. You know what I mean? MIDI. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's the video. I just wanted to talk about that. I thought that was hilarious.